Have you ever stood in the quiet of the night, broken, empty, tears slipping down your cheeks as your hands trembled in dua? And despite all your pleas, there was no answer, no miracle, no sign, just silence. And you asked yourself, why isn't Allah answering me? Doesn't He hear me? Doesn't He see my pain? But what if I told you, Allah did hear you, He did see you, and He didn't say no. He simply said, not yet, my servant. This is not just a story, this is your story. My story, it's the story of every heart that ever begged for something so deeply, only to be met with divine silence. But oh, what wisdom lies in that silence. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you will understand that sometimes the delay is the mercy. Sometimes the wait is the answer. Let me ask you something from the depths of your soul. Have you ever made dua with such desperation that it felt like your heart was in sujood even before your forehead touched the ground? You cried, you pleaded, you fasted, you woke up at tahajjud, you stayed after every salah, whispering the same request to the one who said, call upon me, I will respond to you. Surah Ghafir, Surah number 40, ayat number 60. But days turned to weeks, weeks to months, maybe even years, and still nothing. You watched others around you receive what they asked for, marriages, children, jobs, healing, success. But for you, all you heard was the echo of your own pain and the whisper of shaitan planting seeds of doubt. Maybe Allah doesn't love you. Maybe your sins are too heavy. Maybe you're just not worthy. But today, I want to take you on a journey that reveals the opposite. This is the story of how Allah responds to the ones He loves the most. Through delay, through timing, through preparation. Because Allah doesn't just give. He gives when it's right, when it's best. When the gift will not just please you, but protect you, elevate you, purify you. Allah doesn't forget. He doesn't ignore. He doesn't reject the cries of a sincere heart. As the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, there is no Muslim who calls upon Allah with a dua that contains nothing sinful or that involves breaking ties of kinship, but Allah will give him one of three things. Either He will quickly fulfill his dua, or He will delay it for him until the hereafter, or He will divert an evil from him equivalent to it. Musnad Ahmad. So if your dua is unanswered, perhaps it's not rejected, perhaps it's being protected. Let's enter the lives of those who made dua, not for days, not for weeks, but for decades. Let's see how Allah delayed not to hurt them, but to prepare them. And maybe, just maybe, you will see your reflection in their stories. We begin with the story of a man, aged, with hair as white as snow, his bones weak with age, but whose heart beat with unwavering hope. Zakaria alayhi salam, a prophet of Allah, had spent a lifetime in worship, a lifetime in devotion, and yet, one longing remained unanswered. A child. He watched others become fathers. He watched generations pass, and yet he remained without an heir. But what did he do? Did he give up? Did he stop asking? No, he turned to Allah again and again, until finally in his old age he whispered a dua, so pure, so sincere. My Lord, indeed my bones have weakened, and my head has filled with white, and never have I been in my supplication to you, my Lord, unhappy. Surah Maryam, Surah number 19, ayat number 4. He didn't say, Ya Allah, you forgot me. He said, I have never been disappointed by you. And it was then, in the midst of apparent impossibility, that Allah responded, O Zakaria, indeed we give you good news of a boy whose name will be Yahya. Surah Maryam, Surah number 19, ayat number 7, or Subhanallah. After decades, after gray hairs and tired bones, Allah gave. Not when Zakaria thought it was time, but when Allah knew it was best. Imagine if the dua had been answered earlier. Would it have had the same impact, or the same miraculous nature, the same legacy? Allah didn't say no. He said, not yet, my servant. This is not just history. This is your story. Because how many of us are asking for something that seems far gone? A second chance, healing, forgiveness, marriage, parenthood. But Allah is not the Lord of quick fixes. He is the Lord of perfect timing. When you are ready, when the world is ready, when your heart is prepared to carry the weight of the blessing. Imagine being a child, betrayed by your own blood, your brothers, the ones meant to protect you, thrown into a well, left for dead, then sold into slavery. Imagine the loneliness, the confusion, the fear. This is the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. His life was a storm of trials, and every time he thought the storm had passed, another wave came crashing. From the well to slavery, From slavery to the palace, from palace comfort to false accusations, from false accusations to prison. Years, not days, not weeks, years. And through it all, not once does the Quran mention him complaining to Allah. Not once does he say, "Why me?" Instead, we find him saying, even in prison, "Indeed, I have left the religion of a people who do not believe in Allah, and I follow the religion of my fathers, Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub." Surah Yusuf, Surah number 12, ayat number 37 and 38. His faith was unshaken, even when his circumstances were dark. His heart remained filled with light. Why did Allah allow it? Why the delay? Why let an innocent child go through so much? Because Yusuf was not just being tested, he was being prepared. Prepared to lead a nation, prepared to forgive those who hurt him, prepared to embody sabr, patience, tawakkul, trust and forgiveness like few others ever could. When Allah finally raised him from prison to palace, made him a minister, a leader over storehouses of wealth, and reunited him with his family, he did not gloat. He did not seek revenge. He said, "Indeed, my Lord is subtle in what he wills. Indeed, it is he who is the knowing, the wise." Surah Yusuf, Surah number 12, ayat number 100. SubhanAllah, only someone who truly sees the hand of Allah in every delay, every wound, every silence, can speak such words. So, the next time your plans shatter, your dreams collapse, and everything you trusted turns away from you, remember Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah wasn't punishing him, Allah was building him. And maybe, just maybe, Allah is building you too. Because the delay isn't denial, it's divine preparation. Have you ever stood on the edge of hopelessness, wondering if light would ever touch your heart again? If you felt like the pain would consume you, that Allah's silence meant abandonment, then this next story will speak directly to your soul. Because when Allah seems silent, He is actually preparing the miracle. We now turn to the story of Salama radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, one of the mothers of the believers. Her life was one of deep loss, love, and eventual triumph. But it didn't come easily. She and her husband, Abu Salama, were among the first people to accept Islam. When the persecution in Mecca became too intense, they decided to make hijrah to Medina. But the journey tore their family apart. Her tribe prevented her from going, taking her and her son away. Her husband was forced to travel alone. For a year, she wept, separated from the man she loved and the child she carried. Every day, Salama would go to the outskirts of Mecca, sit under the open sky and cry, hopeless, powerless, forgotten. But she was not forgotten by Allah. Eventually, her family released her and her son. She made the journey alone through the desert, a woman traveling with no escort but Allah, and at long last, she was reunited with Abu Salama in Medina. Their love rekindled, life resumed, their hearts healed, but not for long. Abu Salama was wounded in battle. And after some time, he returned to Allah. Salama was shattered, her beloved was gone, her world dark again. And yet, she remembered a dua the Prophet ﷺ had taught, "O Allah, reward me for my calamity and replace it with something better." She said it, even though she couldn't imagine anything better than Abu Salama. Her heart could not conceive of a love purer than what she had lost, but she trusted, she waited. And then the impossible happened. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself proposed to her. Allah didn't say no to her tears. He said, "Not yet, my servant." And then He gave her a husband greater than she could ever imagine. How many times do we cry over what is taken without realizing that what is coming is beyond imagination? Allah is Al-Hakim, the most wise. He doesn't deprive without preparing something better. But the preparation takes time, and the test is waiting. Think of Musa alayhi salam, lost in the desert with his family, no food, no shelter, no clear path. And then, from the darkness of Mount Sinai, Allah speaks to him from desperation to divine conversation. Or think of Maryam alayhi salam, alone, in pain, under a palm tree crying out, "Oh, I wish I had died before this." Quran Surah number 19, ayat number 23. Her agony was so deep, she couldn't bear to live. But from that agony, Isa alayhi salam was born, a prophet of Allah, a miracle. From the greatest pain came the greatest joy. My dear brother, my dear sister, if your heart is heavy, if your du'as feel unanswered, if it seems like Allah is silent, remember, silence is not absence, delay is not denial. Allah didn't say no. He said, "Not yet, my servant, not yet. What I have written for you is coming." So stay in sujood. Keep whispering your broken hopes into the earth. Let your tears be the ink of your dua, for the pen of Qadr has already written your relief. and it's on its way, just not yet. And when it comes, it will arrive in ways you never imagined. Because the promise of Allah is true. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Quran Surah number 94, ayat number 6. Verily, what is with Allah is better for you if only you knew. Quran Surah number 16, ayat number 95. And the Prophet ﷺ reminds us, know that victory comes with patience, relief with affliction, and ease with hardship. Tirmidhi. Because the story isn't over. Allah hasn't said no. He's just preparing something better than what you asked for. Not yet, my servant. Not yet. Now, pause, breathe, let the story settle in your heart. Yusuf alayhi salam, Salama radiallahu anha, Maryam alayhi salam, each of them felt the sting of isolation, the ache of unanswered prayers, the grief of waiting. And yet, in that waiting, Allah was writing a greater story. So ask yourself, what is Allah preparing you for? When your du'as feel like they vanish into silence, when you cry in sujood and nothing seems to change, when you do everything right and the pain still comes, is it possible that Allah hasn't rejected you, but is elevating you? One of the most profound truths we often forget is that delay is a form of mercy. Sometimes Allah withholds because we're not ready. Because if He gave us what we asked for now, it might destroy us. Or because He's holding out for something far better than we dared to ask. As Allah says in the Quran, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows, while you know not. Quran, Surah number 2, ayat number 216. We ask for comfort. He gives us struggle to build resilience. We ask for ease. He gives us tears to cleanse our hearts. We ask for love. He delays it to teach us to love Him first. The waiting period is not a punishment, it's a preparation. And in that preparation you grow, you stretch, you break, and then become whole again. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ understood this. They lost homes, family, even lives, but they never lost hope in Allah, because they knew with every hardship there is divine wisdom. So if you find yourself waiting for a job, a spouse, healing, forgiveness, direction, then know you are not alone in your wait. You are walking the same path as the prophets, and the one who answered them will answer you, not when you want, not how you expect, but in the most beautiful, perfect timing. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't rejected you. He's simply saying, not yet, my servant, not yet.